So, finally, we have seen a rate cut, and that too a 50 basis point cut in policy rate by the Indian Central Bank. It is indeed a surprise, but if one looks at the market, both the equities and the bond markets do not seem to be euphoric. There is hardly any movement in the equity market. It is a relatively muted movement, and the bond market, of course, the 10-year bond yield rose, but it surrendered half of the gain. That is because part of it, 25 basis point rate cut was factored in, and the other 25 basis point, it's been neutralized by RBI's guidance that the possibilities of future rate cuts are capped because the risks, inflation risks still persist. Will the bank rush for cutting their loan rates at this point of time? I am not very sure about it, because at the end of the day it depends on the cost of money. Will they be able to cut their deposit rates? With inflation expectations continue to remain very high, it will not be easy for banks to cut their deposit rates, and unless they are able to cut the cost of money, they will not be able to pass on the benefit to their borrowers. When do we see the next rate cut? Well, Reserve Bank of India has said that future cuts, the possibilities of future cuts are sort of capped. Does that mean there won't be any rate cut at all? Not really. It's a quite an open game. At this point of time, Reserve Bank of India has sort of done a bit of gamble on growth. It has done a smart move by front loading the cut, because the window for available before the central bank is very limited. The inflation can go up and there won't be much of possibilities. But by cutting 50 basis point rate cut, Reserve Bank of India is virtually telling the central government, look, I have done my bit, now it's up to you to go for the fiscal consolidation. And if indeed the central government goes for it, and if everything is in place, inflation is in control, after a good monsoon, we might see some action in the second half of the fiscal year. Till such time, I think we have to be happy with this 50 basis point cut at one go.